Don't be the let's see how it goes PT. Guys, you don't have to settle for the shitty standard of care that is traditional physical therapy. I'm Doc Rog.
I'm Doc Caitlin.
And this is the Performance Rehab Authority podcast. Caitlin and I own Move Athletics, which is a cash-based performance rehab clinic in Western Massachusetts. We've been around since 2019, and really we were born out of the necessity for physical therapy to elevate as a whole. When I was way back as a CrossFit coach, I realized that people weren't getting the help that they needed. You know, our athletes were going out to see their physical therapist, their chiropractors, surgeons, primary care, and they were all being told, don't do that. It's bad for you. They had lost half their body weight, right? All of their metabolic diseases had disappeared, and now they were just having some orthopedic pain with physical activity. And the best medical advice they were getting was stop your physical activity. And that just wasn't an option.
Yeah.
That's actually what got me into physical therapy in the first place. And then, you know, when I got out of PT school and I got out in the field, it was not what I was expecting, right? I was seeing 4 patients an hour, every hour, all at the same time, overworked, underpaid, productivity standards being shoved down my throat, all while not being actually able to spend time with my patients. What was your experience like?
Yeah, when I got out of school, I was burned out within 6 months. I didn't know what I was doing. I was promised mentorship that never happened. And I was very unconfident in my skill set. Everybody's advice was just, oh, you just make it up as you go, and then one day you'll have enough experience to look back on, laugh, and you'll know what you're doing by then. How the fuck does that make sense? It doesn't. So I signed up for continuing education courses and did that whole route, but it still never truly gave me confidence when I was in the clinic because I wasn't taking specific courses. I didn't have a goal. I just knew I wanted to be a better PT, and so I signed up for things that just interested me.
Yeah, I think that's one of the big things that a lot of people do is they just kind of bounce around, right, from different courses of like a weekend here, weekend there, weekend here, and they learn a bunch of tools, and it never really actually teaches them how to be a good PT, which is something that we've run into a ton as we've grown and we've hired and interviewed and we've done a lot of interactions with different physical therapists that are trying to get into performance care and cash PT.
And that's the thing is the brutal honest truth is one, not everybody makes the cut. Not everybody has the confidence to treat in a performance-based setting. Not everyone has the confidence or the know-how to actually evaluate a client and then make it make sense to them so that they know what they're doing. The client thinks the PT knows what they're doing. And then honestly, if you aren't leading by example and you're not performance-based yourself in your life, you're going to be a really shitty performance PT.
That's true. You can't expect people that live an active lifestyle, that are out there fitnessing, exercising, tracking their macros, and elevating their health to respect you if you're not doing the same thing. You can't expect yourself reasonably to be able to confidently evaluate them and talk to them in a way that garners their respect if you know deep down inside that you're not the person that they're looking for help from.
Over time, what we've learned with seeing all of these PTs come through in the clinic and then just seeing them outside of here and in previous jobs altogether, the difference in the PTs that we've seen be successful and the PTs that we've seen not be successful in a performance-based setting is that somebody takes the time to teach them.
Nobody's teaching this shit. Nobody's teaching you how to go out there and how to treat these active adults and these lifters and do it well with a very well thought out clinical reasoning that actually makes sense. But it doesn't change your responsibility. Circumstance does not change responsibility. You still have to be able to treat these lifters, these athletes, these active adults when they come into the clinic, because they're coming to you as a professional for help. And if you don't know what you're doing, there's only two ways to figure it out. One is trial and error, right? Keep in mind though, as you're trying things and you're just figuring it out on your own, you are fucking people's lives up. People are coming to you to help them, and you're just giving it your best guess. And you might be the reason why they actually live the rest of their life in pain. Option two is to start living the lifestyle, understanding what it takes, and actively seek out mentorship from people who treat those people who actually understand the demands of the athletes, the lifters, and the active lifestyle.
So, with everything that Roger just said, the seeking out the mentorship and then or going somewhere that provides it. So
that actually provides it. Doesn't tell you that they're going to give it to you and then not after like the first 2 weeks.
Yeah. We've seen a lot of people come in here. We've interviewed a ton of people. I keep my eye on what's going on in other clinics. And honestly, what we do here for our PTs is we make sure that they're growing as humans and as clinicians. And a lot of that has to do with the mentorship and the time to focus on the patient care that we provide. So the thing that we've found that is the most successful is when you just fucking take the time to teach somebody. Roger developed a whole curriculum that all of our PTs go through, and that's what we're here helping you do now to figure out how to be a better badass PT, how to get better results with your clients and get them confident so that you're confident with anything that comes through the door.
Yeah, and I guess, it's important to figure out, like, what even makes me qualified to do this? Well, one, I've got the experience, right? We have a proven track record at Move Athletics of getting people better when they've tried 18 other providers over the last, 2, 3, 5, 15, 20 years and not gotten the help. Outside of that, like official credentialing, like I did a residency for a year, and then I did not one, but 2 fellowships. Like the entire thing's completed. So I'm technically like a double fellow, but also I've lived the lifestyle. Even as I was going through school, I was trying to figure out, all right, what I'm learning for the orthopedics in school, taking it back to my gym and essentially testing, right, on 200 plus athletes every single day as often as I could. And I've competed in CrossFit. I've competed in Olympic weightlifting. I'm actively participating in bodybuilding right now, even though I haven't competed. Caitlin has though, right? I've done the marathons. She's done it all too. So we know what we're talking about. We have the experience. We know the mindset.
We live the life.
We live the life. We know the dedication. And, really in the end, it's up to you to also start making that change, to find a mentor, right? When it comes down to it, like, if you want to be a performance PT, if you want to work in a cash-based setting, you need to be on another level. You need to set a higher standard than the level of bullshit that's acceptable in the typical PT mill clinic. Period.
What we have to offer is valuable. You're not expendable like the traditional model is telling you. And even if you work in a traditional model, you can still drive change and be a better clinician and give your patients better outcomes. You can still be a kick-ass PT who's performance-based if you love the job that you're at. But when you come to a performance-based, cash-based setting, the expectations that you're going to perform better, exude confidence, and know what the fuck you're doing are way higher.
Yeah, and having a coach is going to time collapse those results for you. That's one of the reasons why I did so much mentorship. Is because now, instead of taking 15 years to figure things out, I got, an aggregate of 80 years of experience throughout all of my mentors, time collapsed into 3 years. And we want to help do the same for you. So if you guys want some coaching, you want to stick along, definitely click the link in the description to this episode and pre-register for our newsletter that we're going to be kicking off pretty soon. We're going to hit you guys with value and insight and coaching every single week. And remember,
If you're unhappy or unfulfilled in your career or even in your life, no one's coming to save you. It's your responsibility to lead by example, to pursue excellence, to learn new skills, and to welcome the challenge of raising the bar in your career and in your life. Drive the change you want to see.
We'll catch you on the next episode.
See you there.